everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kathleen. In today's video, I'm going to be doing two simple hairstyles on my medium length hair. These are hairstyles that you can do like the day that your hair needs washing or the day before your hair needs washing. If you're going out quickly and you're looking to just change it up a little bit just to make it a little bit different, a little bit dressier, and you just don't want your hair hanging down. So anyway, if that interests you, stay tuned. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to be doing these two different easy hairstyles that anybody can do on my medium length hair. You do need to have some, a little bit of hair to try to get it up, but you don't need really long hair. So anyway, the first one I'm going to be doing is you're going to need like a comb, or at least a tail comb. You're going to need little tiny elastics like these here. Can you see these? They're little tiny elastics that are pretty, they're pretty sturdy. I use these a lot on weddings. You're gonna need a couple of them. You're gonna need a few bobby pins, the color of your hair, and maybe a few hairpins too. Hairpins are these here. These are the longer ones that look like U's, like U shape. Okay, maybe 2 or 3 of those. You don't need many. The styles are very loose and kind of effortless. They're not too sleek, they're not too tight. They're a little bit more textured looking. So anyway, so let's get started. So the first one is kind of like a down do. Like this is my hair. I'm due to have it, shampoo it tomorrow. So it's like, oh God, this is like day 3, I think. Yeah, this is day 3. And I usually go, after the 3rd day, I shampoo it. My hair does not get oily, it does not get greasy. If anything, it's very, very dry. That's why I choose not to wash it, that often. It just doesn't get dirty. You can see, like this is day 3. I have like no oil anymore. So anyway, and my skin is dry too. So anyway, what I do is I would take this piece here. I'm gonna try to get it in closer so you guys can see. And I would just try to keep it as even on both sides as possible so it doesn't feel like it's wonky. All right, so I would just take like this bang area, I would leave that out. I would probably, for me, I don't have to clip it out of the way, but if you're afraid you're gonna get it caught in these pieces, then just clip it out of the way like that. And then next I would go in and I would just take, so I'm gonna be looking here and here just to come on and make sure that I'm doing it right. And I would just take like a small rectangle shape parting on this part up here, right? Going all the way across back here, I would just take my comb. This is where a tail comb comes in handy and kind of keep it out. So that's more like an even, I would say that's more like a square. Yeah, and just try to keep it as even on both sides. Okay, and then you're gonna do, let me just move this. I don't know if I should move the camera in or out. Is I would take one of these elastics, these clear elastics. I like clear because you don't see them in the hair when you're doing these styles. And I would take that and I would open it up, right? And I would just make a little ponytail right there on top of my head. 1, 2. I wouldn't go too tight. I'm going to do it 3 times because these are really very stretchy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate below where I put the ponytail and just make it a hole in there, right? Just kind of pull it apart so it looks like that. Right? So it just makes a hole right there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it over the top and pull it through the back so it looks like that on top of my head. Then I'm going to take and I'm going to separate this and I'm going to pull it down a little bit tighter. And then I'm just going to pull it back like that. Okay, so that's one side. Now I'm going to go over. I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to go right here. Again, you want to keep it as even as possible. I think I have hairspray, a little bit of hairspray on my hair from like yesterday, but if your hair is super, super fine and doesn't hold a curl, you might want to use like a texturizing spray. I can show you the one I have here. So that's if your hair is really fine and doesn't hold. Okay, again, make it Go through there 3 times. Go in and take your tail comb or your fingers, you can go in and pull that apart, right? And you make a hole right through there, okay? And then you take that piece and you flip it up and back, and then you got it pulled up here, and you're gonna take that and you're gonna pull it down, okay? So then you have like these 2 little texturized pieces on top of your head. You have a center part going down the middle. I would just take these pieces here, brush them out, and then take these bangs out. And you can put them down so you don't feel like you have, you know, so it doesn't look so severe. And then you just have a little bit of height on the side there. I mean, a little bit of height on the top. It just kind of gives it a little bit of look, a different look. It's almost like a half up, half down. I'll show you from the side. You see that? You can recurl these pieces if you need to. If your hair is super fine, does not hold any texture, and you want a little bit more body in it, I use this Big Sexy here. It's called Big Fundraiser, and it's a texturizing spray. It's a volumizing dry texture spray. You shake it up. You can see it's going to come out pretty powerful. And it will just give your hair a little texture, a little bit more volume. So you can plop it up, especially if your hair has a tendency to go super flat and you just want more volume. You really want, like I said, I like the more effortless like type look. I don't like anything too perfect looking. I like it a little, like I didn't try it as hard as I probably did to make it look. And then just kind of spray that into the hair. And that'll just kind of make it piecier and softer looking. So anyway, that is the Big Sexy, Big Fundraiser, and it's a dry texture spray. I use this all the time. If your hair is super thick, and again, this is a great style for somebody whose hair who's super thick, or somebody who's looking to have just a little bit of volume or a little bit of texture on top of their head so it doesn't look so flat right here, this is a great style to do. You can also use this one here. This is by Redken. It's the Wax Blast. And this is really heavy. But this is for somebody whose hair is super heavy, and you just really want to keep it in place so it doesn't move, but you don't want to put like a ton of hairspray on. This stuff, you can see, I don't know if you can see that. It's a very waxy type feel to it on the hair. And like you can make like more texturized looking pieces. I'll show you on my next style what you can do with it. It just adds a little bit more texture to the hair. Okay, so that is that style, 2 styles, that's 1 style. Again, you can see from the top how we just kind of went, so I have some flyaways. I would take some of this spray and just kind of spray them down, press them down, just so you didn't have like a bunch of flyaways sitting on top of your head. So yeah, that's just a cute little different style. It doesn't look like you tried too hard, and it's just a little bit different. And I think with the warmer weather, sometimes we just want to get it up and away from our face so it doesn't feel so heavy. Okay, so the next style is, it's like a variation of the French twist, which is pretty popular right now with the French twist. It's, I don't know, like the Barbie movie, I think really made it more popular again. And the French twist used to be very, very slick on the head, and very sprayed and very hard looking, very tight looking. It's not that way anymore. The French twist is like, the new take on it is it's very piecey, it's very texturized, it's very, you know, loose pieces are kind of falling out, doesn't look as, you know, uptight, I guess. These come out very easy too. You just got to kind of go backwards on how you put them in. All right, so for this next one, I would do the same thing. I think a lot of people get away from doing updos is because they feel like it's going to look so severe. But as long as you keep these pieces out around the front of your face, like these pieces here to frame your face, like you can do an updo. Anybody can do an updo. So I'm going to pin these up and away, just using these clips. And I'm going to turn around, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this wider tooth comb and I'm just going to kind of brush through my hair. And what I'm gonna do is just gonna pull it back into, not super tight, like I don't want it really tight on my head. And I'm gonna take my fingers like a comb and I'm just gonna pull it back and up and away, especially now that I have some product on it. It's like it's gonna behave a little bit more. These styles are really meant to do when your hair is has a little bit of product on it, so it holds better. Okay, so from the side I have it positioned right about here, not in the lower part of my head, not all the way up top, but like in the center of my head. And I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to make another ponytail with those elastics, right? Those white elastics right here. I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna show you from the side how to do this, so and I'm gonna go around just twice when I do it there. Then again, the same thing that we did up top on my head, I'm gonna go through here on the side, and I'm gonna make another hole, right? Now this is not too tight on my head. I'm gonna take my fingers, I'm gonna go in there, and I'm gonna pull that open so that you have a hole here, right? So you can see that. And I'm gonna take this ponytail and I'm gonna reach through, it's like a topsy curl, right? And I'm gonna pull it through to the other side. Then I'm gonna take the ponytail and I am going to pull it a little bit tighter, okay? And then I'm going to take it. Now I have this piece here that I just don't want hanging out, and I'm going to wrap that. I'm going to pull a little bit tighter. I'm going to wrap that around that piece here. So I'm just going to literally tuck it and wrap it around. I'm going to pull it a little bit tighter. I'm going to take one of those bobby pins, like this size bobby pin. Can you see that? And I'm going to go right here at the base, and I'm going to take it, I'm going to go in, and then I'm going to go out that way, right, with the bobby pin, a little bit till I feel it touch my scalp, and then I'm going to push it back in the other side. And that's going to keep that really intact in space, as opposed to going in and just going straight in like that with the bobby pin. It's going to loosen up. But if you take it and go the opposite way first, like that, as soon as it hits your scalp, take it and bend it back that way. It's going to keep it up. And then you're going to have like this kind of messy, I can't even see back there, but it's going to be a little messy, but I don't want it too tight. I really don't want it like hanging out too tight. I'm going to take one of these hairpins, right? These are a little bit looser. And I'm going to go in, again, do the same thing, and then pull it back the other way. And it's going to feel very secure on my head. It's not going to feel like it's going to fall out, because number one, we have the elastic in there. Number two, we have those two bobby pins going in this way and then pushing them back again the other way. Then I'm going to take these pieces out here. I'm going to take a little bit of this wax. I'm going to spray it on my hands, right? I'm not going to spray it in my hair. And I'm just going to texturize the hair a little bit, right? I'm just going to make like little texture pieces. Spray it on my hand and go like this. And that's going to keep it in place. That wax is going to go in there, and it's just going to keep that hair up so it looks like it's texturized there. And do the same on the other side. You're going to spray that same hand. I'm going to go in, use my hand like a rake and pull it up. Now I don't want it looking too neat, right? I want some of these pieces like kind of wisping out, flying away. I may even pull some out like that. I might pull one out over here on this side, right? And then I'm going to look at it from the front. I'm going to look at it from the front, and I'm going to be like, okay, I want a little bit more height here. Take my hand like a rake again. I'm not going to use any comb in there, and go up and pull it up. Then I'm going to spray it a little bit, right? And your idea is just to kind of put a little bit of texture in that hair so it doesn't look so severe, and get a little bit of lift. All right, so then these front pieces are hanging out, right? And I am going to take them and I'm going to play around with them in the front. So I can either leave them hanging like so, right? Or if I feel like there's too much, I can just take a piece of that and tuck it behind my ear. All right, like so. I can bobby pin it back if I want, depending on, I just kind of look right from the front, and it'll tell me whether or not I have too much hanging out, or I need more coming down. And then I would just leave these pieces out around the front. And you can see, like, as long as it's framing the front of your face and you have some of these pieces, like, I don't even care if a couple of these pieces here come falling out. That is really the style. It's not really so severe. And then I would just take, again, I would take either this hairspray by Moroccan oil. I would use that. I would just kind of spray that in the front. Hairspray definitely is going to be your friend with this style. I would take this Wax Blast. Again, depending on your hair. If your hair is super fine, don't use Wax Blast. Use hairspray or use a little bit of this big sexy hair and go in there and do it. You can even use a little bit of this prior to putting the hair up, just so it gives the hair a little bit more grip, right? We want that hair not to be falling out of our fingers and falling completely out of the hair ties and the bobby pins. We want to have a little control over what's falling out. So anyway, or we can just go, I like this Flexible Clean Hairspray too by Paul Mitchell. This is a great one to use. And that's it. So if you gained any value from this video, please consider subscribing, giving this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video.